Everybody, thanks for joining us today. I'm pretty excited about this, excited and nervous. Have an ultra mega star with us today, known all over the universe. Yeah,
The universe, wow, it's growing.
yeah, you're growing fast. The internet does that for
It
you.
does. It
You
really
should try
does.
it sometime.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
So anyway, this lady started her career at 6 years old, if I'm correct. And among her highlights, she once, at the age of 6, did a 3-night sold-out stand at Shea Stadium, where the Rolling Stones were the sport act. Later on, she wrote, if I'm correct, 47 top 40 smash hits under the pen name Lennon and McCartney. So,
Wow, you've really done your research. This is pretty nice.
and you did all that before you were 10, right?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yes. Few more things. We won't go into, my expeditions and Mount Everest and things that I did along the way. But yeah, that's a good start.
And you climbed Mount Everest barefooted, didn't you?
I did, yes. Only lost 2 toes. I'm still doing fine.
Girls got to eat.
Yeah. Oh God, that's horrible. Okay.
Well, anyway, so how's McDonald's going?
Oh gosh, I try to avoid McDonald's on the road. In fact, but when I was touring in Europe, I found myself unfortunately at European McDonald's a few times. So,
Did you ever? I didn't know we were going to go there, but since we're here,
yeah. Well, you brought up McDonald's,
right.
so
Wimpy's. When you were in Europe, did you ever eat at Wimpy's?
no, I didn't. I
It's
don't
a
think I'm
fast food
familiar with
place.
Wimpy's.
And sorry for anybody that's English here. In my memory, probably the worst fast food I've ever been to. And
Really?
that's saying a lot. Bad fast food.
Yeah.
And over there, I thought it was interesting. You have to pay for ketchup and mustard. At least in the 80s when I was there.
When
Is
you
it
were
still
there?
Is it still like that?
No, I couldn't get ketchup. Most of the time, you don't get ketchup. They like brown sauce, they call it, or just curry. I'm not really a big curry fan, but England does love its curry.
And I don't think they eat ketchup with toes over there. So. Okay, we'll leave that.
Yeah, well, let's start over here, shall we?
All right. So anyway, let's get the one thing I did say that was true.
Yeah.
You actually did start your career at 6 years old, right?
Actually, well, professionally at 6, I started playing music when I was about 5. So technically 4.5, I started learning the guitar and learned how to read music before I learned how to read. And then I was playing professionally at 6, yeah. So
At 4, I don't remember. Can you talk? You can talk at 4. Can't you?
yeah, sorry.
I mean, but that's pretty. Right at the beginning of all your education, you're already performing and playing music.
It just worked out that way. So,
Wow.
yeah.
That's amazing.
Well.
And I don't want to. I hate to ask you this. You know what I'm
Yeah.
getting ready to ask you.
Oh.
I'm sure you answer it all the time, but everybody got to ask you, right? Everybody wants to know.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to ask you. You can just answer it.
Is it about the name? Oh, okay. Yeah. So, my Mean Mary was my first original song. I'm the youngest of 6, and my other siblings were born in Florida because we grew up in the Panhandle, but I was born across the line. The hospital was in Alabama, so I guess that was worthy of a song. So I wrote Mean Mary from Alabama at 5, and it was my theme song. The press kind of picked up on it. Everybody would request it, and some of the local papers when I perform, and you're like, Mean Mary is, playing here. So I retired the song when I turned 6, but it stuck long after.
I guess 6, you were pretty deep into your career by this time.
Exactly. It was.
Does anybody ever challenge you on the being named Mean Mary? Do they ever rude about it and want to fight you or anything? Just because you're mean, they want to see how mean you are?
Not yet, but thank you for putting that out there for people to think about now. No, I do get a lot of teasing about the name. But I've been called, because people forget. And so I've been called Mad Mary. And I remember as a kid, somebody, aren't you that girl that is called Ugly Mary? And I was like, yep, that's me.
Yeah, I texted my sister-in-law about today, and she goes, "Oh yeah, are you interviewing Bad Mary today?" So there's that one too.
It gets confused a little bit.
And I saw on this DVD right here,
Yeah.
I saw you do that. As you've probably seen it, haven't you?
Unfortunately, yes.
It opens
The
with
original Mean Mary song, which I do not play, so don't even think about asking
No
about
request.
that song. Yeah, no requests on that one.
It's funny though, the guitar is about 3 times bigger than you are.
Yeah, well, the guitar that I learned on was just an old, guitar that we had, and the strings were about like this far, from the fret. And so, yeah, I learned on a full-size guitar. So it was a little big for me, but I've grown into it since then. And if I keep eating at McDonald's, I'll really grow into it.
Yep. In fact, we could order you some now if you want some.
No, I'm being good. I'm being good.
All right. Did you say, did I miss it? What town were you born in Florida? I know it's way up in the Panhandle, right?
I was born in Geneva, Alabama, but I grew up around Panama City, Bonifay area.
Okay, so
yeah.
now the me and Mary from Alabama.
Yeah,
makes more sense.
yeah, it's the hospital was in Geneva, but I also played in Alabama for a while later on. I was on the Country Boy Radio show, which was a regional show out of Birmingham, from like the age of, well, there's a clip on YouTube of me playing on the Country Boy Radio show, so I guess it was from like 6 to like 9 years old. I played on that show too. So,
Geez, you've been doing this a long time.
well, I'm not that old.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, that wasn't
18
reference
is
to your
not
age.
that
Well,
old.
you're
Come on,
right.
yeah.
18. I would have said 19,
Oh.
but got to add a year for road life.
That's right. The road does make you look at least 19 years old.
All right, so after me, you got started at 6.
Yeah.
I've noticed you've got a couple different musical projects. I don't know if they run concurrently or like, I got a couple CDs here from way back in the early 2000s, James and James,
Yeah, well, my brother Frank.
right?
And,
the hair washer.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah. So he still records with me on all my albums. He usually does a few songs. But when we were kids, we toured a bit together for some of that time. And we also did historic music.
Yeah, I have. I think,
but-
wasn't it this
yeah.
one of the ones that on there or not?
Not the historic, but that was an earlier album that we did together with the kind of very kind of
Got that one.
influenced with a lot of different stuff, kind of world music and historic 1800s music that we played, and then a gospel album. But yeah, so but Frank does still come on the road on occasion.
So you guys look pretty young in that picture. I mean, way less than 18.
Fairly young, yes. I don't even remember the years on those ones.
Yeah, I
So
looked
that's
at
sad.
this one. I think it's 2002, and that one's 2005.
Oh, okay, well then.
Yeah, no, this is 2004,
Oh, well then
and this is Coming Home, your gospel one.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that one was recorded when I was living in
2002.
in LA. Yeah. So 2002, gosh, I was 7 years old, I guess.
That must have been weird. Living in LA too, from considering everything else you've done.
Yeah.
LA
it
of all
was,
places.
It was, well, I've always been big movie buffs, and we were kind of got involved with an agent in LA at the time. That kind of motivated the move there for a while. But it was good to come back to Tennessee and Florida and this part of the country, because I mean, LA is a great place to visit, but living there was not. 3 years was definitely enough to know that I didn't really want to stay there forever. But it was a good experience, and I worked in a lot of movies and did bit parts and stand-in and stunt doubling and photo doubling, and I learned the industry a bit. So that was experience I was happy for. But the people out there can be a little
Different?
tiring. Well, I mean, the music industry's got its own share of backstabbers, and everybody's kind of me. It's just a way of, because it's a very selfish business in a way. It's all about your career, and everybody's trying to make a living and do their thing, and there is that camaraderie. But as a lot of musicians, they do kind of get caught up in that, trying to keep their career going, or they're in it for money, or they're in it for fame, or and there's egos. That's what I'm
Right.
trying to say. There's a lot of egos in any creative business. So in Los Angeles, it's even
Epicenter of egos.
even worse that way. So there's not a lot of real people that are just honestly nice to people because they like them. It's everybody's nice if they think they can get something from somebody else, and it just gets old, dealing with that kind of stuff for too long.
I can understand that. Mm-hmm. So where does the Contraries come into this? Is this an ongoing project or something? Are you doing both at the same time?
I've been wanting to do, because I love all kinds of music, and I think you're kind of a fan of various styles of music yourself. But I love rock, and I can listen to almost any genre of music. I can usually find something that I like in that genre. But I've always grew up listening to more rock music, and I love playing the folk and the acoustic and singer-songwriter. But I like to play electric and have drums and such. So I've been wanting to do a band project, and I have some songs, and I've gotten sidetracked with the Cold album and touring, but Mean Mary and the Contraries is my band project. We're a 3-piece, and it's bass drums and me on either electric guitar or electric banjo, and I'm working on finally finishing that album that I've started and keep setting down and going back to when I can.
I saw a video. I'm going to mess up the name. I wrote it down. It's the one about it's a Me Mary and the Contraries. The seven shoe.
7 League Shoes.
That song is great. I love that song.
Well, thank you. That's one that's going on the album.
Good.
So yeah,
Good.
Yeah. So it's fun. It's fun to do something different, and it's just a variety of it creatively. Like I mean, I really love doing, because I tour mostly solo. And there's something great about that, because I have like that interaction with the audience. It's just me and the audience, and we're like friends, and I can say my stupid jokes, and you know, and I know exactly how the show's going to go and what I'm going to play and how I'm going to play it, and you know, and then when you bring somebody else in, you have more, you know, you got to connect with the other person on stage. And with Frank, my brother, it just turns into a big slapstick comedy routine. People call us the Smothers Brothers or something, because it's all that kind of stuff. That's a different vibe, and that's fun too. And then with the band, it's, you know, I get to kind of enjoy the percussion, and you know, I'm not making the foot, because I do foot percussion in my solo show, so I get to just enjoy. I love rhythm, and you know, dance around and play and have all that kind of vibe, and kind of interact with them too, besides the audience. So it's just all those 3 things. It's nice, that variety, because you get stagnant just doing, you know, one or the other. So anyway,
I've noticed you can tell when you perform that you love what you're doing just by your body English. I mean, it's.
I do definitely.
And I think that makes the audience enjoy themselves more too.
Well,
Don't you?
I hope so. Yeah. Well, you know, it's not that. I don't feel like it's a big impersonal show when I'm here. You know, I mean, we're all having a good time, and you know, we're interacting that way. I'm doing songs, and I can talk to them about them and see what they like. And I never usually make a set list. You know, I've played so much, I kind of know what I'm going to do, basically. You know, I'll do this. So do a fast song here, do a slow song there. But just kind of feel the audience and see what goes, and just do stuff on the fly. And it's like, well, I'll throw this song in I haven't played in, you know, 10 years, see if I remember it, or somebody requests something, or, you know, I like that. It's just, we're just having a good time. It's not a big formal affair, you know, where we all, you know, got to be that kind of vibe. I want people to relax and have fun, and then I can, so.
Right. I had this written down. I was going to ask you at some point anyway, but now is a good time.
Yeah.
Sweet Jezebel, and I'm just using this song as an example. I was looking at the lyrics.
Yeah.
It's very wordy, and that's not bad at all. I mean, you're telling a story, and I like the story. I love the song. I told you I love the video too.
Right.
A song that dense lyrically.
Yeah.
Do you ever get up in the middle of the stage and all of a sudden you forget what the next line is, or?
Oh. Okay. Yes, kind of. Not Sweet Jezebel. I actually have never forgot the words on Sweet Jezebel. I don't think so, anyway. Rose Tattoo, for some reason. I sing Rose Tattoo. It's one of my story songs, and I've done it like a million times. And then all of a sudden it's like, what's the next part here? Which is, you know, I actually just mentioned this on last night's show to folks, that there's nothing better than being a songwriter and singing a song and having people sing in the audience that they know your music and they're actually singing to it as you're playing it. And there's no worse feeling than when they're doing that and you realize you've forgotten the words to your own song and you're like, oh no, because they're going to know because I'm not saying it. But it does happen. It happens just because your mind wanders. It happens because you all of a sudden you got caught up in something and you forgot where you're at, or, you know, songs you haven't played in a while that people request. And I am a professional mumbler. So I am one of the world's top mumblers. It might sound like I'm saying something, but I'm not. I'm just trying to make up words that fill in the gaps. And I was very pleased the other day. I was listening to Pandora, and I'm a big Elvis fan, and Elvis came on playing a live show.
She loves Elvis.
Oh, good. Awesome. See, he's the king. And he was doing Jailhouse Rock at a live performance, and he got to the part where it was Spider Murphy played the tenor saxophone, and Little Joe was blowing on the slide trombone. And he started the verse with Little Joe was blowing on the slide trombone. And you could tell, you know, that he was like, where do I go from here? So it was like, and then they caught it back. And I'm like, wow, that's just like I do. Elvis is just like me.
So that was going to be my next question. Do you just make up something, or do you mumble? So you mumble.
Just mumble your way through it until you find your way home again, which can happen even when you're playing an instrument too. Sometimes you just make up something new until you find out where you wanted to end up at again.
So then, if during one of your performances you start mumbling, we need to throw up some cue cards for you.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. Or if you see me starting to play and I go to the microphone and then I step back again and start playing for like 30 minutes more because I'm still trying to remember what that first line was in that song. Yeah, then cue cards would be really nice.
So that's why bands do that.
Yeah.
You should be groups like Led Zeppelin on stage. They play one song, be like 35 minutes long.
Yeah, that's it. They're still trying to remember the words.
Before we get too far away from your history, and
Yeah.
you've done some things in your life that fascinate me.
Yeah.
And the one that really blows my mind, when you guys went up north
Oh,
and
gosh.
built a cabin with an axe, and you slept in the snow and killed bears barehanded and all that stuff.
Yeah,
So
see?
tell people about that. That to me
gosh.
just is unbelievable in this day and age.
Well, it's I blame my parents for they
Mom's
just
fault.
definitely my mom, and my dad was actually 25 years older than my mom, and so he was actually 60 when I was born because I was not. I was a surprise, and so he was legally blind, and so he retired. They decided they wanted to try some adventures, why they had the opportunities and stuff. So they took all us 6 kids up. That was one of their dreams, was to just go and do the whole, as I say, Swiss Family Robinson thing with the, so we went out to Minnesota. Oh, it's crazy about my parents. My mom tells me how that we lived in Florida. And they wanted to go up to Minnesota the one year, and they weren't able to make it happen. And they were so disappointed because they were having all these blizzards and stuff in Minnesota. Like, oh, they wanted to be up there to be part of all that. So that's my parents. But anyway, so yeah, we went up there. We lived in a visqueen tent and built a log cabin with just an axe, the whole old-fashioned way of doing things, no electricity. And we moved into the cabin right before it got, really super cold. And, you had a wood stove for heat, and you could like freeze water like 2 feet away from it. So it was,
Yeah, I used to live in Minnesota.
So yeah, we were up above International Falls. So it was really, yeah.
So you went from Florida to that.
Yeah, I know. That's like crazy. Child abuse, isn't it?
Yeah, these days it probably would be. Did y'all know anything about what you were doing, or were you winging it?
Well, I was kind of young. As far my mom, my family, we've always built our own houses and stuff. My grandpa was a builder, and so it's always been in my mom's kind of blood to build our own stuff. She's good with wood, so we always we've never just usually moved into a house. We have to build it from scratch. So it wasn't our first log cabin, and wasn't the first time doing something like that. So
it was builder. Is that code for hillbilly?
Yeah, that's it exactly.
Well, that's amazing. Did you guys have any issues with like bears, wolves, or anything up there?
We did have my mom ended up having to shoot a black bear, 7 foot. It was huge, and it was coming around. We had moved into the cabin, and it was like the visqueen tent had put its paw through, and it was messing with stuff around the cabin and stuff at night, and it ended up, Mom ended up having to shoot it one night with just one of those shoot from the hip in the dark kind of things, with not knowing what was going to happen. And so it was the whole adventure.
So you had a nice robe for Christmas that year.
Yeah, that's right. There's a picture of me standing beside the skin of it, and it's like, there's little Mary.
How old were you when
I was 4, yeah.
That was before your career started.
It was. That's actually in Minnesota is where I started on music, because my oldest brother was in the military, and he sent back this mixtape, back when cassette tapes were the thing.
I remember that.
And he sent back a mixtape, a bunch of songs that he liked, like Hey Coombs Jr. and such, and had a little battery-powered tape player, and played all the songs, and I guess I really took to it and would vocally do all like the instrumentals and stuff, and my parents kind of saw that I was kind of into music, and so they actually taught all of us kids on the guitar how to play at that time.
Well, I'm surprised living in a log cabin you could even use a cassette player. Severe cold was never
Oh,
kind.
good for it wasn't super cold all the time we were in Minnesota. We were there for the summer too. So, but yeah, I don't really remember things like that so much. I do remember my memories in Minnesota mostly are the fact that all my when we play tag, you know, all my siblings were a bit older than me. So you know, they could chase me and catch me, but when we were in Minnesota, they couldn't because I could run across the top of the snow and they would like sink like, you know, 4 feet down into it. So that was pretty
That's
cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, I got a lot of other stuff to ask you about, of
Sure.
course, but why don't we take a break first and then we'll come back.
Sounds good.
With the breeze against my back, I set sail. A guest of honor on this pavement trail, a sacred sanctuary of my own. But it's infinitely sad to walk alone. Somewhere there's a friend I used to know, and dreams that dream so vivid long ago, where windows were all buried in their dust, and street signs didn't flaunt the news in rust. I hug my jacket close and freeze in this sad November breeze. I'm feeling just as naked as the trees in this sad November breeze, in this sad November breeze. My thoughts unspoken melt into the air and join the song of autumn like a prayer. My footsteps sound across the concrete stone, and the echo of the beat says I'm alone. I think I hear the leaves sing as they fall, like I think I hear you answer when I call. I see your tears flow down the gutter stream, and your reflection in a broken bottle's gleam. I hug my jacket close and freeze in this sad November breeze. I'm feeling just as naked as the trees in this sad November breeze, in this sad November breeze. If I could have you one last night to hold, I would sleep on your sleeve and never be cold. Then my troubled mind would be at ease in this sad November, in this sad November breeze.
And that's another thing, the barefoot thing.
Yeah.
I asked you before on the phone about it, but
Yeah.
do people ask you why you're always barefoot?
Yeah, I get I even get emails about it. And I get emails from folks that are that are barefooters or whatever, like a whole like community of folks that it's their
whole
shtick
thing.
and stuff. Yeah. And, so I guess I'm an honorary member of these of a barefoot kind of community out there.
I never thought about that. I would have never guessed there were like people just hang out and barefoot together. Just
Yeah. Well, there's pretty much everything, isn't there?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then you get the foot fetish people and all that stuff too. So it's a lot of fun. But it just started with the foot percussion. I mean, I'm always, and of course, growing up in Florida and the country and stuff too. I mean, that you run around barefoot, but except for the sand spurs. But no, it's and it's just a thing you do out in the country. And I've always never been a big fan of shoes. Except really cute shoes,
when when you're performing, can you feel the vibration of the music when you're barefoot?
Oh yeah, of course, different stages, But I use the foot percussion, and so I'm always it just works better barefoot. It started I was doing like a drum, like a suitcase drum. My banjo case was my drum, and I liked having the bare feet better, and I use a tambourine on the other foot, and so yeah, so it kind of started more with the foot percussion on stage. Yeah.
But, I know everything hasn't always been a bed of roses. You've gone through at least one rough, dark patch in your life.
Yes.
With the accident.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know a lot about it. I just know you had one, and I guess there was a time you weren't sure you'd ever sing again.
There was. I was a passenger in an auto accident, and I hit the dashboard with my throat, and I couldn't. When I came to, I was in the ambulance and I couldn't talk. I just whisper, and I didn't know what happened. And, at first thought it was, just everything seemed to be okay. And I thought, but it wasn't coming back. So, I had to go to the throat special, your nose and throat special, all that stuff in Memphis. And they said I had a paralyzed vocal cord. So, and there was a good chance it would not, change that way, and looked in. There was a nice period of, all the being told all the options of getting shots to pump up that, thing because it wouldn't move, so I would have to, maybe have to get shots the rest of my life just so, because your vocal cords, they strike together to make it. So this one's not moving. So this one's having to reach. And being a singer, at least I was able to talk again. And the doctor said because I'd worked my vocal cords out, it was a little more elastic, so it could reach over to the other one and hit it. But it was a lot of strain on one side of my throat. But anyway, that's all the technical stuff of it. But yeah, so I thought I might be able to sing because I only had like a 3-note range as far as that, and it was very hard to listen to other people singing and know that I could never reach those notes again or be able to do that. And they were very dark about the prognosis of the possibilities. So there's a lot of prayer and hope, and I spent a lot of time having faith that it would come back. And being a musician was a blessing at that time, because if I'd just been a singer, but I knew that I play instruments, and I was very grateful. You don't really appreciate that fact when you're a kid, the things that you learn and stuff, but it's hard work, and and it's very glamorous just to go up there and sing, with no instrument. and when you're a kid, that sounds nice. But I was really thankful that I'd taken all the time to learn to play instruments, and that I was a singer that also played, because even though I couldn't sing, I could still make music, and I still had my instruments and such. But yeah, 6 months, and there was movement in that vocal cord. So here I am today, giving you a hard time.
Yeah. I was going to say something about that.
Oh,
back off a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, I am Mean Mary. So
That's
I'm
right.
just trying to give you a little idea.
I should have known, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So what point in your career did that happen?
I was 23, I believe. So yeah, that was right in the heart of things,
And having a person who's never been through something like that, how do you deal with that? What did you go through? I mean, were you depressed, or were you scared? Or
Well, I've always been a fairly optimistic person, so I really wasn't somebody who was moping around about it. But it was scary, that fact, and it was disheartening, But like I said, the fact that I played instruments and stuff, that was a big, it's like I can still write, I can still play my guitar and my banjo and my fiddle and this kind of stuff. But yeah, you go through all that stuff. But I can't say that I was, going through a dark, depression time. I was very optimistic during that time that I would, you know,
So you stayed
work out.
busy? Kept
I did stay
writing?
busy and kept writing, and I even did shows and stuff. I had to do a couple shows that I had obligated that I pretty much did instrumentally and such. So yeah, life goes on no matter what. But this little miracle was definitely pleased that I can sing.
And you've also got a writing career, right?
I do. I co-write songs, and I write songs, and I co-write books with my mom sometimes. So yeah.
Speaking of that, it reminded me.
Yeah.
I'm jumping around,
That's
and I
okay.
knew I would anyway, but
Uh-huh.
I see a recurring theme in a lot of your work. Of course, the book,
What's that?
Sparrow Alone on the Housetop.
Yeah.
Let me get my note here so I don't miss anything. You have a CD, The Year of the Sparrow,
Yeah.
which has a song, Sparrow and the Hawk, on that.
Right.
And then the same CD has a Sweet Jezebel again,
With a
which there's two different lines about Song of the Sparrow.
yeah.
And on the new CD, Cold, right here, the song
there's a
Sparrow.
Sparrow
So
And there's another Sparrow song too on the band album. So yeah, everyone goes through their Sparrow phase, right?
Oh, yeah. I remember mine. I was like 19. I had
I
like
just
30
thought-
sparrows in my room.
It kind of happened. It actually started with the book, and then the songs, and I don't know how it really got going, but with The Year of the Sparrow was that was actually why I named the album that, because it seemed like sparrows were just popping into my music a lot, and so I can't really give you a definite explanation. No sparrow landed on my window and started talking to me or anything.
nothing like that.
Nothing that dramatic. Just
Nothing in
yeah.
the Himalayas when you're eating a Big Mac. There's no sparrows.
No sparrows. So yeah, so
I thought it might have had some kind of cryptic meaning, or it was symbolic of something.
sparrow is like symbolic of the sailors. When they saw the sparrow, they knew that they were close to home. So being out on a voyage and coming back. So yeah.
I was guessing it might be something like, to keep your eye on the sparrow.
Oh yeah.
Thing.
That's
a
a
gospel
good one
song,
too. It
right?
is a gospel song.
All right, well, that answers the sparrow question. I want to get to your, talk about your new CD before we run out of time. Cold.
Okay. Cold.
Before we do that, though, I have another question. This is probably a weird off-the-wall one, but I noticed on the 2017 Blazing CD,
Yeah.
the second song is called Rainy.
Yeah.
2019 Cold, the second song is called Rainy Day, right?
Yeah.
Did you?
That
just an
was
accident or
completely
what?
coincidental. Okay, honestly, it was not intended. It just kind of happened.
I thought you were sending cryptic messages again, like with the sparrow.
Well,
thought it was the
maybe I
same
am, and
thing.
maybe I'm just not admitting to
That's
it.
right. If
Yeah,
you admitted to it, it wouldn't be cryptic, would it?
that's right. You're gonna wake up in the middle of the night and come up with the some sort of meaning to it all yourself, perhaps.
Now,
That's how it works.
if I wake up tonight and look out the window, there's a sparrow on
Yeah.
the windowsill. And if it has a McDonald's reference,
Okay.
I'm not going to let that go. now.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I'll know
Okay.
that you probably dabble in voodoo also.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I know
There you
you're
go.
sort of a fan of the Gothic anyway, right?
Yeah, I have to admit I do like singing about and like that, some of that darker stuff. So
Which is a good segue
fun.
into the new CD, right?
it is, yeah, it is definitely. This album is a little more moody, and it's got a little kind of gothic, dark vibes in some of the songs. I wouldn't call it like a depressing, sad album, but it's definitely a lot of minor key melodies. I love minor keys.
I do too.
And, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Love them.
And I'm always drawn to that, and just the topics like that. So,
Oh, I talked to you on the phone a few weeks ago. I mentioned a song on there, A Sad November Breeze, which was one of my favorites on the new CD.
Oh,
But I noticed back in
thank you.
2014, you told me it was an old song.
It
but
is, uh-huh.
You have been performing this at least since 2014.
I have, and I hadn't put it on an album yet because it just hadn't fit the right album. So I was really, this was an album of songs that some of them were older ones that I just hadn't recorded yet that I really loved, but it's like they needed to be on that right project, and it is kind of a themed album in a sense of the mood. It all kind of weaves together to tell a certain story, and it goes through the seasons. So yeah.
I love that too. You can feel it on the first listen. I noticed the first time I heard it.
Mm.
Like you said, you can feel that whole, there's a continuous kind of thread sort of through it.
Good.
Do you want to talk about it, the songs each, or you got any
Oh.
stories to tell about?
Gosh, what songs were on that album?
Just
Yeah,
mumble.
yeah. Do the Elvis mumble with yeah, no, they're all very special songs to me. A lot of Rainy Day and Side of Memories are ones that I had written when I was really young and with my mom, and they were kind of revisited them and redid them, and I really liked both of those because they were ones that just like a line out of them, just like I really like this line or I really like this feel, but you know when you're kind of an immature songwriter, you don't always write the best way. So we went back and did them again, and I had new tunes actually, and I was like, oh, this is fun. So I love taking like recycling songs, like is it's like you never want to throw away an idea, and so it's like revisiting songs that you wrote when you were like 14 or 13, and coming back and still finding something in there and recycling them and saving them and making something out of them. So those two, and Dark Woods was probably my the one I was most excited about because. It's like the Dark Woods. It's like I knew this song. I started with the banjo on it, and the chorus came to me, and it was just one of those ones that kind of excited me because as a writer, sometimes it's just the tune and the vibe, and you get excited about a song. It's like, oh, this is the song on the album. This is the one that I'm going to perform at shows and stuff. So that one I was happy about, and my mom and I wrote that one together, and working out the banjo on it, and just kind of flowed real fast. So. Here I am hitting things again with my hands.
Well, let me adjust my mic real quick.
Yeah, you gonna hit me in the head with it?
Yeah.
Again, he's already done it like twice in between the shots for people that are watching.
Don't make me do it again.
Anyway, yeah. So that's it. But yeah, there's lots I could tell about the album, but then it's takes away the mystery. So I just let people figure it out as they listen.
So is Dark Woods your favorite song on the CD?
It might be, but things change. It just depends on the mood I'm in. Snow Falling was a song that I've had for years, and I loved working on it, and I set it aside because I'm like, this song is really special. I like this, and then I never recorded it, and that was probably started on that song when I was like 18 or so just a couple years ago. Yeah. And so I was really excited to put it on this album. It just felt, you just knew what songs were right for this album. And Cold was one I worked on when I was in Europe. As an idea when I was writing in my journal that it came to me, and it's a ghost story kind of deal, which I have fun with those Edgar Allan Poe-ish stuff, which like Quote the Mockingbird on there too. So
I figured that was a play on Edgar Allan Poe.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing you mentioned about some of the lyrics came from your diary or journal.
Yeah.
Is that scary? I mean, getting that personal, be opening yourself up that much. I mean, I guess nobody really knows which lines came from it, but they're there still.
They are there still. No, kind of as an artist, you're always kind of just open. Oops. You're always just.
I just did it too.
You're always just open to. You let out all of that, and you kind of you can't be too shy, I should say, about your feelings, and that's kind of the music is kind of something that gives you a little bit of a comfort blanket there, but it's you're kind of vulnerable in that sense that it's any ideas you have and thoughts, whether they're passionate, dark, angry, sad, or whatever, you put out there in the song, and because everybody feels those things. So yeah, I'm not worried. I'm weird anyway, so I might as well just give it all out there.
I noticed that right away. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
No
Thank you very much.
I think people probably too want somebody else to say what they're afraid to, like they want you to sing their life, or they want to hear their life in your songs.
Yeah, I think you connect that way, and we're all people. We all have the same things. We all eat at McDonald's on occasion. And
some of us climb mountains barefoot.
Okay, yes.
Once you build a cabin with an axe, I mean, climbing the Himalayas is
nothing. Yeah,
a big deal.
Exactly,
right?
and totally. My mom used to catch snakes too. I mean, once you've been around rattlesnakes, and that's no big deal.
You grew up all your life pretty much in a kind of a rural setting, right?
Yeah, pretty much so.
I mean, your videos seem to indicate that you're usually outside or the
Yeah.
woods, horses are there. Like the one, what is it? Red Barn or something where Frank's sleeping.
Oh, yeah,
Is
yeah.
it called Red Barn? Is
Big,
it-
big red barn.
Speaking of Frank,
Oh,
I had to ask you this question because
yeah.
I asked you on the phone, or I didn't ask you. You said something I just thought it was hilarious.
What's that?
You made a comment about sometimes Frank tours with you when he's not busy washing his hair.
Yeah, that's my go-to Frank line. Yes, when
So that's an inside joke.
well, he's bald.
Oh, is that what it was? Because he doesn't have any hair to wash. I noticed it. I thought the same thing. He doesn't really have any hair.
Yeah, yeah. I tease him a lot. We do. He gets a lot of bald jokes on stage with me. So yeah,
He has a good sense of humor, it seems like, though.
he does. He does.
But he's a big guy, too. I guess you don't want to really push it too
But
far.
I'm Mean Mary. Come on.
That's right. You can do it.
That's right.
He can't hit you anyway because you're his little sister.
That's right. I have the fiddle bow too. It's very dangerous when I'm playing. Takes out eyes and stuff. Banjos weighs about 30 pounds, so that's.
You could
I've
probably swing
got
it.
instruments of destruction there on stage with me. So
And you have an endorsement, right? With the
I
So
do
your
have a few.
banjos.
I have a few endorsements actually.
So you can tear a few up and get some more, right?
That's right. That's a good way of looking at it. Oh,
I'm
wonderful.
sure they'll be glad to hear that. Huh?
Well, it's not a concert until you bust an instrument over somebody's head,
That's
right?
true.
That's right.
Or at least set it on fire or
Yeah.
something. So is that what you're doing on tour this year?
What, busting instruments and lighting them on
Or
fire?
Can
Yeah.
we look forward to some of that?
Of course. That's the
Goes with it.
yeah. Well, you got to warm up it's the cold tour, so we got to stay warm somehow with a few fires on stage.
This is going to be great.
Yeah, this interview's gotten really interesting, hasn't it? Is that
Good. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it is anyway.
Yes.
Speaking of the tour, how is it going and how long you been on tour right now?
This is a short tour. This is a little mini tour. Sorry, hold on.
Wait.
I have only been in Jacksonville and St. Petersburg and now here and on to Lake Worth. So this is like a little. I took some time off this year to work on the album and to get the band album started and do some other projects. And I'm way behind as usual. But now I wanted to do a few shows just for when the album came out, just to kind of celebrate the release of it. And then next year I'll be back on the road more. So, but I had to come to Florida, plus especially because it's like 14 and
Yeah, now's a good
Tennessee
time.
right now. This is a good time. Yeah.
This is a good time to be in Florida.
Yes.
Not too hot.
Totally. I didn't think last night I was sweating on stage, and I thought this would never happen again.
So, let me see.
Okay.
When you are by yourself, this is, again, I'm jumping around, but
Okay.
I'm always curious what artists listen to for their own entertainment. I mean, do you listen to bluegrass or do you do so much of that kind of stuff? I mean, are you a Slayer fan? What do you listen to?
I listen to audiobooks on the road. I find that I haven't in the last few years. I don't know if it's just being so immersed in my own music, just not wanting to hear outside influences. I haven't listened to a lot of music, but I love music. I love dancing. I love jamming out in the car. I just listen to a variety of stuff. I never usually tell people what I do listen to because it's kind of that. It's funny talking about personal. It's almost like what I listen to is like personal, my own tastes and that. But yeah, I do like rock. I actually liked a lot of the. I grew up. Okay, there's a big influence of music that I liked as a kid. I listened to like the Jim Steinman arrangements, like Meatloaf and Bonnie Tyler was like all the. Fast and the Speed of Night was like the go-to song on our like tape player, on the Walkman and stuff. But I like those big, bombastic kind of arrangements, and that probably shows up a little bit in my writing, where But even though it's like folk music, I still get caught up. Sometimes I got to tone myself down because it's like, oh, let's bring in the symphony and the piano and the 10 drummers to like fill in the percussion and do that kind of thing. But yeah.
How about Gloria? Were you a fan of that song?
Gloria?
Tell the truth.
Sure. Yes.
Okay. All right. If you say so, I'll believe you. Going back to the tour again. So, how's it going? I know you just got started, but can you
Yeah.
tell yet? Is it too early to have a idea, like your finger on the pulse?
Oh, as far as
I mean,
what?
like, is it good? Are you happy with
Oh
the
yeah,
turnouts and
of
what's going
course.
on?
It's yes. I had a tour earlier. I went out west for just a quick bang 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 kind of shows. One right after the other in September, or a little bit earlier this year. So that was a great tour. But mostly as a musician, especially a touring musician, it's all about, you love that phone call that you get like a couple weeks before saying it's sold out. That's when you feel like this is a good tour. But no, the shows have been really good. People have been really supportive and showing up, and the audiences have been just really fun loving and supportive, and everybody's buying lots of merchandise and stuff. So yeah, I have no complaints. But I've never had a tour where I've been like, oh, that sucked. There's a show on occasion. You'll have that show where you try someplace new, or you fill in a date, and it's just the audience isn't there as much as you would like it to be that shows up. I mean, it's a good show, but it's just mostly about people knowing about the show and getting it out there to people, or just an area where they don't know you as well. And that's, it's always disappointing when it's a slow turnout. But the crowds have always been, I've never had a show where people were, rude or threw tomatoes at me or McDonald's hamburgers or anything.
Knew that was coming.
I just anyway. So yeah. I this has been great, and I hope it gets better and better.
Are you stronger anywhere in the country more than any place else, or?
Well, I work out more in Tennessee, so I'm a bit stronger there. I can do a few more push-ups.
Excellent.
Yeah. No, I
was curious about that.
It might be. No, I have a good fan base in England, in the UK, in parts of Europe. It's good. In this country, Florida, a lot of parts of Florida. It seems like they really come out for what I do. Michigan has been great. Recently, I've discovered Oregon is got Mean Mary fans.
Wow.
There's different areas. They surprise you, and they come out.
Take it wherever you can get it, huh?
That's right. Anywhere, even Oregon, right?
So you mentioned playing new places. Is there any apprehension when you're playing a venue for the first time, or dealing with a promoter you don't know, or? That's where the sharks are probably at, isn't it? When you start getting in promoters and club owners and stuff.
Everyone I work with is pretty good. I'm sure if I was, filling up 10,000 seats and stuff, I'd have more hassles. But most of the folks I work with, I've never had a problem. I never really have an apprehension about working with somebody new. Everyone's pretty cool. And the nice thing is that usually if you get contacted, I mean, they're usually, the people I work with are music fans, and they contact you, or if you've contacted them, they hear your music, they book you because they like what you do, and you already have like a friendship going on. So it's always felt that way with the venues I played.
So I guess once you establish a network, do you sort of tend to stay within that?
Because I'm lazy, yeah. No, I do my own booking, so lots of times I find myself gravitating to the same venues I've played. I mean, obviously I enjoy playing them there, but I don't put a lot of work trying to seek out new venues when it's, I can just go back and play something I played before, and I don't have to spend time on the booking process, because I need to branch out to get some more help in that department. But right now, while I'm doing it myself, I tend to stick to what's simple, and go back and.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I like simple. I'm a banjo player with only 8 toes, obviously. So I got to keep things simple. Yeah.
Thing for McDonald's.
Yeah. Yes.
There aren't too many 8-toed banjo players who love McDonald's. Might be one of just 2. But we're just about out of time. Is there anything?
Oh, thank heavens.
I was thinking the same thing. Anything you'd like to say before we go? Anything mean and nasty?
No, I guess not. Gosh. No, it's been fun talking with you. I thank you for talking with me.
I've enjoyed it.
Edit out a few of your, questions.
Stupid remarks.
Yeah, definitely some of mine. Just excited about the new album, and I'll be on the road and keep doing what I'm doing. So hopefully everybody will know about Me and Mary by what, 2020?
They will as soon as this comes out.
As soon as this comes out, I'm sure they will.
All right. So one more thing. How can they want more information about you? Your website is...
It's very simple. It's meanmary.com.
Yeah, that
That's
should be
pretty
easy.
simple. Yeah. And they just, YouTube, Facebook, just look Mean Mary, and I'll be there.
And we'll edit your cell phone number onto the screen.
Yes, please do. I love to give out my cell phone number to everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then you're going to play some songs before you leave, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Good.
Do you have a special request?
How many Slayer songs do you know?
Okay. So I guess I won't be playing any songs after the show.
Actually, if I was going to get to have a song I wanted to hear, it would probably be maybe Snow Falling or Sad November Breeze. I love
Okay.
those songs.
Oh, cool. Well, I might be able to do one of those.
Or Flight of the Bumblebee.
Oh.
Can you play that?
Sure.
All right.
Before it did.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Jim.